There he is. Yep. He just bugled right there. So that's the first bugle we heard this morning. Good sign. Really good. Should know it is pressure to see cell car that you'd circle upwind.
Winds just keep getting worse. And we've had trees falling around us and cracking around us. And
you guys want grouse for dinner?
Rumor has it that our friends Mark and Jeff called in a bull at 1:30 yesterday afternoon. Just top heat of the day. I told Michael, I said, we gotta take that as a challenge. 2:30 for us. So Michael's gonna call one in at 2:30. I told him not to give it his best shot until 2:30. What's that? 4 yards?
maybe.
I mean, I walked up on him and I saw him move.
It's a young of the year. This is a really young one. Really young.
Shot him.
Couldn't.
Yeah, I so
Look down the arrow.
What's that?
You should have just looked down the arrow.
Yeah. This is a very, very young grouse. Like really young. Young male. See his collar. So this elk hunt is temporarily interrupted for a grouse commercial. I'm gonna leave them feathers on there. You know, most people show their arrows with blood on it. I show my arrows. See, I feathered my arrows. Natural feathers. None of this vein stuff. Oh, it is worth it. We've only been in here a half mile and I already got a grouse.
Heck yeah.
Michael, you made a great decision when you said, I gave Michael like 5 options. He's like, how about this one?
It was a team effort.
Let's just go in here, he said. We got a grouse out of this hike.
Yeah.
We left the truck about an hour and 15 minutes ago, hour and a half.
Yeah. It's been an hour and a half.
We got up here, and the aerial imagery looks a whole lot different than reality. I've been calling, haven't heard anything. In peak rut like this, it's September, what, 16th?
Yeah.
You would, if they were around, you'd hear something, so.
Yeah, we're not trying to hunt quiet elk.
No,
either. We're trying
no.
to hunt the aggressive.
Yeah, we want the one that wants a fight. So, we run into another grouse. Michael said, I ain't shooting that, I might lose an arrow. I told him, put it on your expense report.
I'll put on my expense report.
He said, well, I don't know if I want to lose an arrow for a grouse. He's back on probation. He's worked here for 4 years. He's now back on probation. Afraid of it.
Well,
I shoot my finest arrow with my best broadhead sometimes at grouse.
I just like having a good background. Know your target and beyond.
Yeah. What's that have to do?
I would have needed to lined it up against a tree, and it would have been perfect.
It's weird how low the elk have been. Every time we go up high, we don't see any sign. Don't hear any bugles. We come down low where all the ATV trails are. See sign. When we're driving in or driving out, we'll see them crossing. And hear some bugles. I know people are going to think we're crazy for doing this, but
Go where they're at.
it's where they are right now with the drought. Go up to the next ridge.
You see that? He shot its head off. Holy mackerel. Don't. Here, give me that. Yeah. I'll get this one. Hold on. Hang over here, though. Yeah, there's one right there. Oh, yeah. He's going down. There's more. Oh yeah. There's 2 more down there. Down there. Yeah. Or did they fly up here? Good. Right there.
I was aiming at their heads.
This is the one you finished off. So that was the one you took the head out. That was the first one you shot. Look at that. You just peeled him wide open.
Sweet.
All roughies.
Very cool. Huh? I've never gotten 3 like that.
Really? See, you got a male here. You can tell by the big collar and then the full band. And then another male. Good. Keep shooting them males. And a female.
For the spot there. Jeez.
Yeah?
That happened quick.
Well, did you see him? There were like 6 of them.
No, I did not see it.
I looked over and I'm like, hold on. We got grouse. We were in a hurry to get somewhere, but we're not now.
6 grouse today. Never seen this guy so jacked. That's cool.
Now, I don't care what anybody says. Michael and I both shot limits of grouse on the same day. Screw the elk.
That's pretty sweet.
Destination grouse.
Very cool.
The only bad part is, Michael,
What?
I think now people know the real reason I wanted to leave the central Montana hunting grounds.
We didn't see any grouse out there.
I think I kind of ratted myself out on that one. All right, folks. That's probably it for today. I think we kind of are finished off. But tomorrow I get to hit the reset button on the grouse limit.
Yeah.
Possession is 4 daily limits. I only have 1 daily limit with me, so let's go.
Let's go.
Maybe we can find some grouse that Dale can shoot some.
Yep, seriously.
Do it. We rolled into a new area. We're not really setting up camp. We're just kind of dropping and rolling. Go try to find a bull. We're going to split up, Corey and myself, try to cover more ground in a shorter amount of time. Let's see what happens. Stay tuned.
There's a little spike down there, which means probably there's a herd not far away. The little spike's not going to be right there with him, but he's probably not going to be far. So we'll just let him walk off.
Wind's blowing right down this draw right towards him, so I'm just gonna creep out of here, come around, bugle back into here after a few minutes, let some time go by, let our sound dissipate, let the woods and the birds start tweeting and the trees start shimmering back to normal without man present. So you don't want them to be nervous, or your bugle turns into something to run away from. been pounding these draws, ridges. Getting the same reply. Nothing. It's pretty quiet out here. Don't have much light left in the day. We're going to hit a few more spots and hopefully somebody turns the switch on. just a little farther than I wanted to shoot. I mean, if I could dial right to it, maybe. He stood there. I drew back a little bit on him. It's better to almost get a shot than to get a bad shot.
Had early in the year, we were getting messages left and right out of the gate. The guys, having all kinds of action, bulls screaming their heads off, and a buddy of ours that him and his hunting partner killed their bulls in the first 2 days, and then Shannon popped down for a couple of day hunts and had good action, and it was looking like things were going to just start rolling, and then, as soon as September hit, it just died. Yeah, but it's been an enjoyable season regardless. Just being out in the elk woods is always fun. Have an opportunity to share the woods with good guys and good critters is always a good time. Well, who knows? Hopefully we can even get invited back next year.
We'll
D5.
see.
We got the Destination Elk curse is upon us right now.
The last 3 years have been quite challenging, but
yeah. It's been a struggle.
It's still fun. But I want to thank all of the viewers. Number one
Viewer, all of him.
One of the viewers.
It's probably your mom, still watching.
Yeah, she's my number one fan.
Number one fan.
But all the viewers, all the sponsors for Dev Ford. It's been so awesome.
Thanks again, everybody. Till next year. ASP out.
Welcome to the final evening of the final day. It's day 8, and quite a few of us still have our elk tags in our pockets, so it's fourth and long for sure. We didn't hear any bugles this morning in the basins where we hunted yesterday, where we thought we would hear tons of bugles again today. Nothing. We pushed on a little farther and ended up getting into an elk that was acting like an elk finally this morning. Called him into a little over 30 yards, but he came above us, winded us, and I was at full draw, needed probably 2 more steps, and he would have cleared a fir tree and been in the open, but he didn't, and we've been sitting here on the hillside for the last hour pondering what to do here on the last evening, the last hunt. It'd be really easy, I think, to throw in the towel and give up, especially with no prospect right now. We don't have a bugle. We don't know really any areas to go to find one. So the plan is Donnie just got up and is heading back to get the truck. We have hiked 7.5 miles this morning. About 5 of that was directly away from the truck. John and we've decided that we're going to push through and we're going to hike all the way through this drainage, and Donnie's going to drive around and pick us up on the other side. So we're looking at another good, probably 15+ mile day, a bulk of it coming here this afternoon. So we're just looking for a bugle, and we've got to find an elk that behaved like the one this morning. He came into calls. It's literally the first elk we've called in that came in actively 2 calls, bugling, acting like an elk in September in our 8 days of hunting here. So we just need to find one more and not make a silly mistake this time. He's calling now. Hey.
Hey, I can't walk.
You can't walk? Okay.
No.
All right, we're heading to you.
I just sent you a pin.
Okay. We will be there momentarily.
All right.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Change of plans. We had just set out, hiked about a half mile towards where John and I were heading, and Donnie called on the phone and said he fell down and hurt his leg, heard it pop, thinks he might have tore something. He said he would rest up a minute and see if he could put any weight on it or not, and then call us back. And he just called and said he can't walk on it at all. So he's probably 4 miles from the truck, and we are heading back that way. So I'm not sure what we're going to do to get him out of here, but we'll figure it out. But change of plans for the evening hunt. Frick, buddy. Which knee?
The left one.
Is this swelled up on you already?
No. There's no bull's bugling over here.
Oh God, Donnie. This is supposed to be a dad joke. Because your delivery on that one was pretty crappy.
Oh my gosh, it's just throbbing.
So you tell us as far as movement, but we can be on either side of you.
Yeah.
And you can hop on one leg. I tried that with Isaac when I did my calf, and it hurt way worse.
Yeah.
What I found worked was putting just the minimal amount, both trekking poles down, minimal amount of weight, and going onto that one. Okay. That was, I mean, completely different injury, but. Well, we made it to where Donnie was and got him some Advil and ibuprofen and got trekking poles set up, and he's slowly making his way down the mountain. I'm going to bust over to the truck, see if we can come around underneath and get it closer, so he just has to walk downhill and not traverse all the rock slides and everything we did coming in. John's going to go with Donnie and pack his pack and see if we can, it's at least a mile. That would be if we get permission from private landowner, if we can. I don't even know if anybody lives there or anything, but it looks like there's an old 2-track road that'll come up through. So if we can get to there, it'll be a mile. If not, it'll be considerably longer. Well, we got Donnie packed out. Fortunately, we got permission from a private landowner to drive up through and pick him up. He only had to walk about a mile, but it looks like he might have tore his MCL and LCL maybe, I don't know, but inside and outside he heard a loud pop and can't put much weight on it. So anyway, he's on some painkillers, and not painkillers, some pain medication and anti-inflammatory. So he's down at the truck, and John and I have about an hour here to see if we can wrestle up a bugle and make something happen. track here we've been following. It's a smaller bull track. My guess is he's just a little rag. Which I'm fine with, but he's probably not going to get too excited to come into the calls. We don't have a whole lot of other options, but we really need something that's ready to fight. Another season comes and goes. John and I headed up the ridge and worked around, had a bull answer us down below, and then there was a hunter down there, so we moved over on another bugle that was really wimpy. That bull was just moving away, so we came back and glassed across the canyon, saw a couple bulls and cows, probably a mile or more away, mile and a half. So we pretty much just said, well, it's time to head back. John said, you never know, maybe we'll bump into one right here on the ridge. We didn't go 40 yards and I bugled and the bull hammered us just like 150, 200 yards away. We had a pretty good screaming match there, and John actually dropped back and was cow calling and raking, and that bull just, he wanted to see something before he came in. He stood out in the middle of the opening and wouldn't come in, so I put the move on him there right before dark and got within 140 yards, but he just kept inching away from us. So good way to end the hunt. Had a good screaming match finally, which I've been looking forward to something like that. But we had a great hunt. Donnie shot a bull the first day, and now he's sitting in the truck with a tore up knee. We'll get him back home tomorrow and get to the doctor and see what it is, but it sounds like he tore maybe a couple ligaments in his knee. John shot a bull on day 4, absolute giant herd bull, and I passed up a bull a couple days ago and got really close this morning on a bull, and then had a fun screaming match with this one. So good time. Got to see John shoot his biggest bull, and to be there for that was pretty special for sure. And probably won't be able to make him stay behind the camera from now on. He'll probably want to jump out in front a couple times, and if he shoots big bulls like that, we just might let him. That brings Destination Elk V4 to a wrap, to a close. So thanks for following along with us. We aren't done yet, though. After this series, we've got some more pretty awesome hunts. We've got Outfitters for Hope hunt, where we take a youth hunter with life-threatening illness out. You don't want to miss that one. We've got our Alaska elk hunting adventure, which I'll just say was the most epic, brutal hunt I think I've ever done and I could ever imagine doing. You don't want to miss that one. We've got some more good stuff here coming. This 8-day hunt series that we did with the 7 teams is wrapped up here, but we've got a lot more content. So stay tuned. We're going to keep pumping it out here and sharing our season with you over the next several weeks. So thanks for following us. Stay tuned. Make sure and thank our sponsors, and we'll catch you in the next episode.
We're a little rusty at this since we haven't been doing them this season.
I thought when John said we nailed it, that he meant we did good, not that we were rusty.
Oh, okay.
But we are back, and it's been a while. We read the comments, and people missed the recap at the end of the series, or the end of each episode. So we're here to give you a recap.
At the end of the series.
Yeah, the series recap. So now before we jump in, just want to say thank you to all of you who've been following us, whether this is first season or 4th season. Thanks for being here, and thanks for the support. Thanks for the participants that were part of it this year.
Yes.
Huge to put all that together. You saw in episode 1, we all got together at Big Sky at the Total Archery Challenge, and just the logistics of that was a lot. But everyone was super excited, and everyone did an incredible job sharing their camp with us.
It's a good season for everybody, and all the comments seem to lean towards everybody liked the format this year. So
it was a good season for everybody except for Donnie. Donnie had a pretty rough season.
It was there was a couple of rough days in there.
Yeah. They haven't even seen the good part of it yet.
Oh, yeah.
We've got that coming up. But how's the leg doing?
It's doing good. It's like 90%, I think.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah.
What was it before? Like 60?
Exactly.
No, I mean, during season when it was good, it was what, 60%?
Yeah.
That's good.
So it's feeling better. It's all healed up. It wound up not being ligaments, ACL, MCL. It was actually the top of my tibia and the top of the fibula were fractured and broken. So
Wipe some dirt on it, carry on.
I walked it off.
Yeah, you didn't have much of a choice. We were.
Yeah, and it was like the flattest ground that we had been walking on all season, and
Walk up there and Donnie's sitting in his underwear on the ground.
yeah, that I had a spare pair of boots that I brought along that day, and they're brand new. I had picked them up from a drug dealer, and I don't know what he laced them with, but I was tripping all day.
And there we go. I don't know, what were we, 3 minutes in and we got dad jokes. So I know that was one of the comments we saw too, was not enough Donnie dad jokes. So we'll, if memory serves correctly, you're going to really like the Alaska film, because Donnie spent 5 days in a tent and all he could do was moan in pain and tell dad jokes to himself. So
I had to contribute something.
Well, you may be getting an overload of Donnie's dad jokes here soon, but
yeah.
So participants, all the teams were awesome. Camera guys, what did we have? Nine different camera guys involved, and they did phenomenal. It's tough to keeping up with the Scousins, Tyler and Lenny, Team Pure Elevation. Don and I, we hunt pretty close to the trails, so John, he keeps up just fine. But some of those other guys, they got put through the test, and
yes, they
did a great job. But speaking of John, he's behind the camera again right now. It was great to see him in front of the camera, but more so his work behind the camera and editing. He does 100% of all of the post-production work. So most films you see, screen after screen of credits rolling, and there's just one name that goes on the credits of this, and that's John. So huge thanks to him, and it couldn't happen from start to finish without his involvement. The fact that he kept his shirt on and shot a big elk this year, just icing on the cake. So thank you, John. Your leg is all better?
Yep.
So we're going back to Alaska? Is that?
Back to the same spot here. I don't think.
Oh, that when you said we're going, can we go back and hunt the same place? I thought you meant Alaska.
No, I think I'd rather go and break my leg 10 times than experience my Alaska trip.
Wow.
But I'd like to get some redemption on Alaska.
He makes it sound like he had a bad Alaska. He sat in a tent for 5 days.
Yeah.
Well, John and I were soaked packing elk. And
yeah. You'll see that.
Yeah. So that's coming up really soon. We've had quite a few people message us and leave comments about they didn't know what the schedule was for the episodes for Destination Elk. All of that can be found at elk101.com. We have a landing page set up. It's just elk101.com/DEV4, and the full schedule for the entire season was there, as well as the upcoming schedule with the next two films. So rather than doing a day by day, we're doing a couple big films. One will be our Alaska hunt, and the other one will be the Outfitters for Hope hunt with Jack.
Yes.
All right, well, season-wise, through the episodes, I don't remember how many tags were filled. Started with 14, got down to 6 something, so
yeah,
8 tags filled, and there were several close calls. In fact, in tonight's episode, Shannon came right down to the wire in Oregon, had a big herd bull right there in the clear cut, and just couldn't get a shot when it was close enough, and then when it got out a little farther, wasn't comfortable with the shot. Just the way it goes. You saw my encounter there. John and I were able to pack close. Donnie out and then still get out for an hour in the evening, and so close. But I did manage to make it back and get it done.
Yes, he did.
So went back to the same area. In fact, the exact same point where John and I were, where we got into that bull, is where I glassed the bull I ended up shooting from, and it was about 2 miles away. So anyway, I came back home, and we still had a week or so left in the season, and the second to the last day of the season, my very supportive wife said, just go back. And I don't know if it was, the tears every morning, or if it was me just staring longingly out the window watching September slip by, but
Tired of him watching him mope around the house.
yeah. So she sent me back over. I got there, got packed into that spot with less than an hour of daylight. On the second to the last day, glassed a bull 2 miles away, coming out of the timber, going into the sagebrush. And I spent the entire next day until 6 o'clock p.m. trying to find a bugle. I never heard a single bugle. And finally, as a last resort, I said, I'm going to bomb over to where I saw that bull come out of the timber and just set up there and see if he does the same thing. So he had, I think, 3 or 4 cows heading to water. And by the time I got there, it was getting so close to when I had seen him the night before, I thought, I don't want to go any farther up the mountain. If I do, I'm exposed. He's going to come out and see me, and so I'm just going to set up right here. And it was along the path he had taken the night before, but it was probably 300 or 400 yards down the ridge from where I wanted to get, where he came out. And so I set up there. I had two cameras, had a GoPro and a video camera on tripods, set behind me, kind of cleared out a little spot for myself there. It was about 40 yards, 35, 40 yards to the trail he had walked on the night before. And I'm just watching my watching season fade away. No bugles, no indication that I'm going to see an elk. And maybe 20 minutes before legal shooting light runs out, I hear a branch break opposite direction behind me. And I thought, well, sounds like an elk. It's a big animal. So as luck would have it, in the right way this time, 3 cows come walking out behind me, and they walk 12 yards from me and stop and look at me. And it happened so fast. They came from behind me. I didn't have a chance to turn the cameras on, and they stared at me for a good 30 seconds. And all of a sudden, out of the corner of my eye, 25 yards away, I see a bull. And I couldn't tell how big it was. I could just tell it was a bull, and I thought, that's a 5 point. It's not the same one as last night. Last day of the season, I'm good. And fortunately, the cows took their attention off me when the bull started walking out, and they walked forward, and he kept his attention on them. But he got to like 20 yards and stopped and looked right over at me. And I'm not set up in brush. I'm just set in front of a tree out in the open. And there was one deadfall tree that had blown down and was right across in front of me where he's at, where I'm hoping to get the shots out in front of me there. There's nothing, but there's one tree here. And he walks by, and the only tree I have to draw is when he walks by to my left. So I draw and turn, and he walks out 12 yards, and I cow call. And all I have in front of me is that dead tree laying right across the shooting lane. So I had to hunker clear down low underneath that thing and shot. And when I did, I thought I hit low at 12 yards. And I started just, all the bad thoughts.
Yeah.
Did I really just mess this up? The last 15 minutes of the season turned out to be a little bit bigger than a 5 point. I just couldn't believe it. So went up there, started following blood, and they're very, very little blood, just a speck here, a speck there. And I thought, if I hit low, there should be blood all over. And anyway, the bull made it maybe 150 yards and was laying there piled up. Perfect. Behind the shoulder, long shot, and just so happened to be the biggest elk I've ever shot in Idaho. Second biggest elk I've ever shot in my life. So
that was a fun FaceTime video to receive from Corey. He was a little excited.
I was excited. Until Donnie said his leg hurt and he couldn't help
He wanted to know how my leg felt and if I wanted to drive 6 hours.
He said no. So, got it packed out, and fortunately it couldn't have died in a better place for me to be by myself, and got it cut up and hung that night, and then set up my tent, stayed just down the ridge, and then came back in the next morning, packed it out. that was a pretty awesome finish for my season to end it that way. I know Corey Ford from Team Angry Spike, he shot a bull in, I think, Washington in muzzleloader season, a Roosevelt bull.
Yeah.
So quite a few people came close, and a few tagged out. Brandon tagged out from Team Peaks. He tagged out in archery season in Montana after the 8-day hunting period.
They had a rough go, and it's good to see them finally get some blood drawn. So.
Yeah. I don't think Randy ever did get close. So I don't know if Randy even actually carries an arrow with a broadhead in his quiver. I think he just has a bunch of grouse arrows.
Yeah.
Did you see? Every time he gets after grouse, it's just arrow after arrow after arrow.
Yeah.
And I know he wouldn't be shooting broadhead. So I'm convinced, unless I can be proven otherwise, Randy has a quiver full of grouse arrows, and that's why we don't ever see him get into elk.
Yep. I would agree. He did kill some grouse, though.
He did. He killed some grouse. Swayed the name of the series to Destination Grouse a couple times.
Yeah.
But, we do want your feedback, though, from the season. What you enjoyed about it, what teams you enjoyed. If you want us to do a similar format or go back to the original format. Just all of that. The length of the episodes. Do you want them short? Do you want them long? Do you want them boring? The days where we have nothing going on. Do you want to follow us day by day? Do you want us to include a bunch of teams and mix it up? So we've created a survey, and if you just go to elk101.com/DEV4, like Destination Elk V4, we've got a survey there, and we would love to have your feedback and input to help us shape next season's
year.
Destination Elk. So if you participate in that survey and are willing to leave your email address, we are going to randomly draw a whole bunch of winners for gear. So we're going to be giving away a bow, an exo pack, a bunch of elk calls, a bunch of Mountain Ops product, a bunch of Peaks product, some Destination Elk V4 apparel. We've got shirts and a bunch of cool stuff. So we haven't even determined how much we're going to give away, but at least I would say 25 or 30 people are going to win cool stuff. So just go to elk101.com/DEV4 and help us out with that survey. Speaking of the Destination Elk V4 apparel, if you don't want to wait to win some, you can go to the Elk 101 store, and we've got the cool new logo, which neither of us
are wearing.
But take our word, it's cool. Maybe John can work his editing magic here and post up a really sweet picture of it. But go to elk101store.com and you can pick them up there. What else do we need to talk about?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing.
Then it's time for a dad joke.
I got an appointment to get to.
Oh.
I'm going to go look at a new car.
A hunting truck or a car?
A car.
Okay.
I'm looking at one of those new Teslas.
Oh, really?
So I was in one with an Uber the other day, and I was in it, and
Oh, you were what?
I was in an Uber.
Oh, I thought you said with Newberg.
No,
Like Randy was in a Tesla.
Yeah.
Okay, you were in an Uber.
It was brand new. The guy had just gotten it, and it doesn't really have a new car smell in it. It has more of a Elon Musk. I stretched that one out a little bit.
You did. That's better.
I'm not going to go look at an electric car.
He's better than the Bruce Jenner slip up dad joke.
Yeah.
We do want to say a special thank you to our sponsors, and we would love it if you were able to tell them thank you as well. The feedback from the viewers to the sponsors is what enables us to keep doing this, and they love it. They're 100% on board, but if you're able to just reach out, whether through social media, sending them an email through their website, and just say thank you for supporting Destination Elk, that goes a long ways to us being able to keep doing this and being able to do it again bigger and better next year. So Yeti, as always, from the beginning, Yeti's been there and big supporter of everything we do at Elk 101. Mountain Ops, just the same. Yep. They're a huge partner for us outside of Destination Elk, but stepped up and said we want to be involved in Destination Elk. We love it. Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, from the beginning, they love the educational side of the series, and again, huge supporter for us. And then Peaks, brand new this year. A new company came on, and they love what we do, and we love their products.
Yeah.
So it was an easy partnership and friendship there. So
Yeah.
being able to have Brandon and Bryce involved from Team Peaks was fun, even though you didn't get to see very much of their elk hunting skill set, because they just had a rough time just
Yeah.
getting into elk in new areas, and then they got into elk and things happened, and then the windstorm blew them off the mountain. And so anyway, if you can, please say a thank you to our sponsors.
And we'll be,
back. We'll be right back.
like we said, there'll be another couple of episodes coming up after this. The Alaska trip, and then our Outfitters for Hope
Yeah,
with Jack.
which you don't want to miss. This
That's
every year it's the favorite of the series of the season for us, for you as the viewers. This hunt with Jack was over the top.
yeah.
I mean, we've had some pretty incredible special experiences on those hunts, and every year, just things that happen that help us realize that it's a lot bigger than us, and there's a lot more involved behind the scenes. We're not the ones directing the elk to come in. We might be the ones using the calls, but
Yeah.
God's hand is in every one of these hunts. And this year, Jack suffered a brain tumor, and through the surgeries and treatments and everything, suffered strokes, and basically is blind. I mean, he can see movement right in front of his face, but if you're 6 or 8 feet away from him, unless he hears you talk, he doesn't know who's standing there. And the challenges of being able to get him on elk, number one, being able to rig up a sighting system so that he could see and that he could align, but that there was also a help there to be able to verify that he was on it. You've got to see it to see it all come together.
Great kid.
Yeah, one of my, I mean, they're all my favorite, but just with all the challenges, never quit smiling.
Nope.
Never quit smiling, never quit interacting like he was part of the group, and just plugged in from day one.
I'm pretty sure he heard, I don't know, 1,500 bugles.
There were a lot of bugles.
He heard a lot of bugles.
We didn't hear that many. Jack heard them.
Jack heard
And you
a
know what?
lot of bugles.
We don't have the youngest ears,
Yeah.
so he may have been hearing all those bugles.
He heard bugles that we could not hear.
So anyway, thank you again. I think based on the feedback we've gotten so far, and we'll definitely look at the survey and dial things in from there, but expect to hear more dad jokes next season. Expect to see some recap such as this at the end of each episode, where we talk about and explain some of the strategies. What else can they expect to see? No Alaska?
No Alaska. Hopefully we should be finding out about some tags here soon, and then
Make a
we'll
plan.
know what we're going to do.
Yep. Let us know if you want to see John in front of the camera again. We're trying to convince him. He's pretty shy though, so
Yeah.
we'll see what we can accomplish there. But thanks again. Hope you've enjoyed it, and we'll be back 1 week from tonight with the Alaska film, and 2 weeks from tonight we will be bringing you the Outfitters for Hope hunt, and a lot more cool content, educational content coming from Elk 101 on the Elk 101 YouTube channel soon after that.
Thanks for watching.